My name is Dell Maclean, but I go by Earthworm because I'm an avid gardener, and I'm a part of a community called the Teardown, which is an activist house that the people in it contribute to the community by doing activism and helping out the community, as well as more internal things to keep the house going. And one of our projects is Food Not Bomb, a free meal that we do in the park every Sunday for whoever's hungry. And it's not just a way to get food into people's bellies, but it's a community project that brings people together that might not otherwise have the chance to interact and learn each other's stories. And we hope to strengthen community by forming those networks and seeing that we all have a common fight.
And where are you originally from?
I was born in Philadelphia, but I lived in Richmond, Virginia when I was a kid, and went to school in Florida and moved to Atlanta about 5 years ago.
Okay. And why is this an important issue in your life?
I think that our society is really headed in the wrong direction in a really cataclysmic way. And the only way that we're going to be able to stop that is by getting together and forming a massive movement of people that's strong enough to make real huge change. So building community and getting to know each other and learning that we can fight back together is the start of something much bigger.
And how challenging with this thought process, this idea, this structure, has it been for you to live or to conduct this structure?
I like the way that we live. It works really well with my personality type. I choose to live very, very frugally and work less and spend less. So, I may not go out to movies a lot or go out to restaurants a lot, but that money that I save means that I have to spend less time working. So that's more time for me to be able to do the things that I believe in and the things that I want to do, and that's more valuable to me than physical possessions.
Now, you mentioned school. Your schooling, what does that consist of?
I went to a university in Florida, and I have a bachelor's degree.
Okay. And in what discipline?
In natural sciences, biology, chemistry, math.
Okay. So then you are a very institutionalized, educated woman.
I have a bachelor's degree.
And the reason I said that is because what this project seems to entail is that you work directly with the community. How does that go against, or how does that go for the institutionalized education that you have been ingrained in?
Well, I think it's definitely clear that I come from a different background than a lot of people in the community, and maybe that makes it harder for us to relate to each other. Maybe we don't talk the same and
right.
Things like that. I think people, when they first take a look at you, they can tell something about your background.
Right.
And does that make it harder to connect? Absolutely, but there's a lot of things about all of our lives that we don't have in common, and we need to learn to connect across those differences. We need to be able to respect each other and help each other out, whether or not, we all have exactly the same challenges to face or the same background. So, yes, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that we need to address and get good at.
Okay.
Bridging.
How did you come to this conclusion that this was the way that you wanted to conduct yourself or live your life or help others?
Well, I think that the problems that the world are facing are so huge that it could really end in all of our destruction. The global climate change could end up in massive amounts of death on a scale that humanity's never seen before.
Okay.
And the destruction of the environment and the different regimes, the dictatorial regimes across the world seem to be coming to a point where all of our freedom is threatened.
Gotcha.
And it seems to me that these things, the environmental factors and the political factors, come together to create really huge problems. So looking at that as one individual and saying, this can't happen, this must be stopped, you have to decide what your role can be that will make you the most effective that you can possibly be in fighting that. And to me, the way to fight that is to form a massive movement of enough people that we have the power to actually stop it.
Wow, that's major. That's a big point. Now, you have just had a major physical challenge within yourself. Would you care to just elaborate a little bit about life as it was and as it is, and how individuals have to learn to fight through certain physical as well as mental challenges?
Yeah, I've always been very active. I have always been an avid bike rider, and I had a bicycle accident in April where I just lost control of my bicycle and fell off, and my spinal cord was injured, so I have a spinal cord injury now, which resulted in partial paralysis of my hands and my lower body. So I'm working on physical therapy a lot now, and that's a major focus for me now, which has taken time away, unfortunately, from my activism and my other activities. But I have no intention of giving up activism, and I realize that although I'm facing some challenges, there are a lot of people in the world that are still facing a lot more. So there's no excuse to use that as an excuse to drop out or anything like that. But it does definitely give you a new perspective to have an injury, because I'd never been in the world as an injured person or as a disabled person before. I'd never really known that people treat you differently. So it does give me a little bit of maybe insight into what other disabled people may be experiencing too, although I think each person with their multitude of identities and things they have going on experiences the world uniquely.
Wow.
So, as a young woman with a disability, I may be treated differently than as an old man with a disability, or a thin person versus a fat person, or a lot of different things combine
Right.
to create your personal experience of the world.
We're here at the park. Dale, how was your day today?
Oh, it was fabulous. The temperature was beautiful. We had just the right amount of people and just the right amount of food. So we didn't have anything left over, but we didn't run out too fast.
How was your energy level with this type of work that you do?
I liked it today. Sometimes you get too much hustle and bustle and not enough people serving, and it's a little hectic. Or sometimes it's just dead and there's not that many people, but today it was perfect.
And what would you want to tell the people in the closing words of this structure?
Well, we gotta stand up and fight for our rights, because there's a lot of people around that want to take our rights away. The cops are trying to tell everybody they can't even be in the park, as though us being in the park is some kind of problem. But we need to stand up and push back against that.
Thank you so much, Dale. I look forward to the communication in the future.
All right. Look forward to talking to you.
All right.